What is going on, guys? Welcome to another Monday video where we take a look at coins that have a huge potential to going up this week or in the coming weeks. And we're just trying to find ourselves and position ourselves accordingly to be able to make some really crazy gains. If you were able to get a chance and take a look at the stream on Thursday, guys, we gave you one of the most juiciest entries, which was Spark, which had a nice, crazy retracement. We got in a 1.7 mil entry here, guys, and this thing is rocking solid all the way to 37 mil. So if you guys are missing those videos and you're missing the live streams, you guys are missing out a lot. But the great thing is on Discord, we gave this coin at 2 million right when it retraced down. So if you guys are on Discord, you guys are up pretty big as well. Thank you guys for all the support. Once again, remember, guys, this is not financial advice, but I do this for a living, so that helps us out quite a lot. So we're doing pretty well, so hopefully you guys are starting to lock in here as well. So let's take a look at our first coin we're going to call, which is Spark. So if you took advantage and you saw the live streams on Thursday and you are on Discord, you guys are already up, so you guys are probably going to be like, guys, we're already printing on this coin. But if you're not, I do want you to pay attention to this coin. Huge potential with this coin, guys. Okay, this is kind of like akin to a goat type of coin. What happened? You're probably wondering, why did it go up? Why did it go on? Why did it go down? So this coin, when it first came out, everybody liked the idea of how this was kind of like a goat coin, that it was a person taking over the Twitter account. Unfortunately, the dev or the person with the coin said they did not support the coin. So we had this crazy dip and crazy consolidation here within that 1.7 mil to 2 mil range. And then what do you guys know? On August the 8th, right? 2 days ago, the guy comes out and says, you know what? I think I'm considering maybe supporting the coin and I'm going to back the coin. What happened? Boom, bada bing, we're back up to 40 mil. So what are we expecting? Where are you trying to get in? How high could this coin go, right? So right now what we're looking, guys, I want to see what this coin does when it hits 50 mil. And this is where you need to be paying attention to, because I believe it's going to give us another entry before this kind of coin runs up. So you're looking to kind of get like a 2x to a 50% return on this one on its initial push. If it goes up and it retraces down, depending on how hard it falls down, we could probably look at this coin again. This is one of these coins that you're probably going to be setting up for like maybe a potential 2x with a nice entry here. So what you want to look, and the reason I'm mentioning it, because this is literally happening right now, right? So what you're going to you're going to see what happens at 50 mil. I don't want you to buy right now, just too high to buy, okay? Because even though it runs up to 50, it runs up to 60, it's a little bit high, and the risk is a little bit high on that as well. If you guys want to buy a little bit, you could, because 30 is kind of like where it's tippy toeing. If the momentum on this coin just keeps getting bigger and bigger, we won't see a retrace, and that 30 mil entry still pretty good for a potential 2x. But what I would do is I would kind of wait to see what this coin does at 50 here or 60 and see if it comes down. Okay, so entries that I'm looking for this kind of coin in particular, of course, we would want to see another 25 mil retracement if it does come back down here. So if it, right now it's kind of like testing this 35 mil. It hasn't hit 40. It's kind of like, should we hit 40? Should I not hit 40? So if it doesn't do it, if it doesn't break this kind of like this floor up here with this 37 mil, and it comes back down, I'm looking for that 25 mil entry again to the potential 52x plate. So that's what I'm looking for. If it doesn't do that, if for some reason it doesn't do that and it just keeps going up, I'm going to look what it does at 50 or 60, see maybe we get another retracement back down to 30 mil, and then that should give us a nice 2x. So this is one that is kind of moving right now, so I just want to make sure you guys are positioned. If you guys are following on the live stream and you are on Discord, you guys are already in this play. If you're not and you're just watching these videos, then ideally you're looking for a 25 mil entry on that retracement, okay? That is for Spark. Really upside, really pretty big potential. Not a lot of people know what this coin's about, but once I think people start figuring out what the coin's about and the potential, how it kind of simulates a lot of GOAT, I could see this kind of running up pretty crazy, okay? The next one we're going to look at is another one called Bonkyo. So this one, guys, I gave it to you guys early as well, especially not only when it's first run up, but also on its kind of decline here within this 1.5, 1.7 mil range. We got the bull's pocket right here for you guys within this range. It touched the bull's pocket once again at 1.5, now ran up to 3 mil again. So that's a nice potential 2x already. But in addition to that, I still think this coin kind of runs back up all the way to all-time high. So what we're looking for here, guys, is two retracements. Actually, we're looking for Ideally, I would love for you guys to get another reentry here at this 1.5. I don't think you're gonna get another reentry here at this 1.5, but there's still that possibility. Okay, but we are looking for another entry here at 2 mil. I would say would be a nice little entry here if you're looking for a bounce. If it comes back down to 2 mil and it comes back up, okay, that's what we're kind of looking at. I still think this coin could give you a couple X's, like maybe 5 to 4x. It just depends on your entry. So if you already missed this part, then guys, you guys are missing out on Discord and the live streams and also the videos. But I still, Bonkyo still has a nice little run here that we're gonna see it go up. So hopefully you guys are already in here from the previous video we told you guys about to get, and also the call on stream. But if you're not, I think Bonkyo still has up potential and upside to give you a couple X's. Okay. The next one we're looking at is Annie. Now I've been telling you guys about Annie for a very, very long time. We did call it down here. It kind of gave us a nice little 2x. It had a crazy, crazy dip here at 16 mil. We were actually talking about this coin on stream on Thursday, and we were talking how that 20 mil to that 20 mil entry was ideal. I didn't expect to come down to 16. I was expecting it to come down to 18, but 16 was kind of like a massive, massive entry. Unfortunately, we weren't, we didn't put out this video on the 9th, which was yesterday. But that 16 mil entry was ideally the one you want to get into. Okay, so what I'm looking for Annie to do, I'm hoping and praying it gives us another 16 mil entry. Okay, I'm hoping and praying. Highly doubt it though, but I'm hoping and praying it does give us another 16 mil entry so we could scoop up a little bit more of supply. If it doesn't give us that entry, I always say with this coin, anything below that 20 range, that 20 mil range or 25 mil range is good. I still think this coin goes up. Okay, I still think this coin is just too viral, and there's just so much potential for Annie that anything around that range, this coin's gonna last for a very long time. Usually you have coins that last, like maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month. This one I think is gonna be here for a while. So Annie still pretty good scoop up here at 22. But if you're looking at this video, you always want to get the ideal entry. Ideal entry right now, of course, looks like we have a new floor, which is 15. If we don't get that floor, we're probably gonna get an 18 mil floor here. So anything within that bulge pocket would be ideally here, that where you're gonna want to make sure you scoop some up if it comes back down. And I think we do get an upside when it comes to Annie. The next one we're going to mention is Pcule. Now, this is another one that's part of the AI, and we see a little bit of AI coming back. Okay, we see a little bit of AI coming back, and we just want to position accordingly where the AI, 2.0 system comes back up. So Pcule is actually doing pretty good. It started peaking already. People started adding here on the 2nd and on the 4th. Right now, we have a nice little push up to 5 mil here. What we're looking for right here, guys, is we're hoping for a retracement on this coin. Now, some of these are a little bit of a slower cook because it just takes a while for the, like if they're going to make an update or something happens. But I do expect this coin to kind of tap the, tap this area right here, which is that 11, 10 mil range. So ideally, this 5 mil range, it still gives you a possible 2x, but I'm looking for a better retracement. The retracement I'm looking for this one is this 3.8 mil range, 3.5 mil range, anything within this bulge pocket of 3 mil. That 4 mil range, I think it's ideal to position yourself here accordingly in this kind of like this bulge pocket for a potential 10 mil run. So you're looking for a nice 2 to 3x here. This one might take a little bit longer than the other ones that I mentioned, just because this is kind of barely coming back up and it's not like fully on meta right now. Okay. The next one we're going to talk about is another one I've been mentioning quite a long time, which is Launchcoin. As you guys know, this is the official coin of the Believe ecosystem. It had a nice retracement down to 66 mil, which is kind of when we mentioned to pick it up. It ran up all the way to 89. Now it's kind of consolidating here within this range. And I felt like it was just at a right spot to actually kind of buy this one right here, just because we want to make sure we're getting a good entry and a good return. Once again, I'm expecting this kind of like, I'm gonna give this one a month to kind of consolidate. I'm hoping it's shorter than a month, but the entry is just too good to miss out on. So I wanted to pinpoint it again for you guys here at this. If it comes down to the 73 mil range, that's where I'm looking at. Even though 76 is still pretty good, but anything within the 73, and since we have a new floor here of 64, anything within this area right here of the 73 mil and 64 mil range. Ideally, I think that is a nice little buy zone here. I think that's like the floor. And eventually, I do feel like this coin's going to do a nice reversal sometime soon. I'm hoping it does it sooner rather than later, but I'm expecting this one. This is like more of a longer term hold for a month. Okay. The next one, guys, talking about AI meta is Swarm. Now, for those of you who've been following me for quite a long time, you guys know I gave you Swarm super early before it had this crazy run all the way to 600 million. But I feel like right now we're gonna get kind of like a revival of the AI meta, because if you think about it, around this time is when we saw the kind of revival or the start of the AI meta. So I think a lot of these coins are going to be pushing out updates, and we're going to be seeing a lot of revival when it comes to the AI meta. Currently, right now, it's sitting at 25 mil. I just had a nice little run to 33 mil. So we're looking for a nice entry point. So I feel like this would be a good time to point this one out and tell you guys, this is something that you guys definitely want to keep an eye on. So what I'm looking for, guys, is I'm looking to see if it comes down here to this 22 mil range. Ideally, if it doesn't come down to this 22 mil range, um, it's probably going to stop where it's at right now, which is that 25 mil range, and bounce back up. But I like perfect entries, so I'm looking for something in the 22 mil range. I don't think it comes down to 20 all the way down. So I think it'll stay here within this 22 mil range and kind of this, like, 20 mil range here. I think around that point was where I want to kind of add a nice little position. And I do expect this to run up to like 40 mil, which is like 40 mil, 60 mil, depending on how much steam we get with the, kind of like the AI meta push. But nice potential 2x on this one. A little bit of a slower cook because it's going to take, I think, maybe we're like about a month and a half out when it comes to AI meta. Is just position yourself on coins early. And if you want to wait that long for certain coins to actually start moving, okay? The next one we're looking at is Gore. And as you guys know, big fan of Gore. I've been telling you guys Gore for a very long time. A lot of you guys already 2 to 3x on our first initial call within Gore, which was in the Bolts pocket right here that we kind of caught right here from here to all the way to 34 mil. But there was a lot of FUD with Gore recently today during the weekend where they were saying, oh, the team left, the team is not supporting it. Then there was like, yeah, the team's backing it. They're still building the L2. So now we're back to kind of like starting all over again with Gore. So it's gonna just take a little bit longer than expected. Like you saw, I drew this line and said, okay, it did its thing when we said from here to here. It did its thing. I mean, theoretically, if they wouldn't have had that flood, it should be like kind of like around that 50 mil to 60 mil range. The flood unfortunately caused this massive dip. So right now we're just gonna have to move our target while things start building back up again here. And ideally, right now for Gore, you kind of want to add right now. This is like the perfect time to add. Okay, so it's at that 16 mil to 17 mil or 18 mil range. Ideally, this is a nice spot to add right now. So I'm looking for this one kind of. It's gonna take like about I'm gonna say a good 20 days, for them to build it back up, and we should probably see this test at 34 mil within that range. Okay, so really good tech on this one. I like it. I like the team behind it. As long as we don't get more FUD and they start pushing the stuff and the pretty much the updates that they're planning on doing on this coin, I think this has a nice potential run. I actually added more like a few minutes, like I would say like maybe an hour ago. I bought some more. I just think this is like the beautiful buy zone, and we're looking to add up on Gore here. The next one, guys, we have is Project 89, and I'm so upset because this actually started moving as I was making the video, and right now it's at 7 mil. Ideally, this was the entry. I was going to tell you guys this, and if it comes down to 7 mil, this is kind of like where you want to add. But it started moving before we started making the video, and it went from 7 to 11 million. So what you're looking for this one is you're looking kind of like for the ideal entry here. You're going to see what it does here at this 15 mil range first. I wouldn't be buying right now. Right now it's 11 almost 12 million. I would wait. Okay, I would wait to see if we get a test of 15 and see if it comes back down to this like 9 mil range. And that's where I kind of want to add. I kind of want to get in here like at that 10, like below 10 or at least in 10. I think would be a nice entry here, because I do feel like this one's gonna do pretty well. This kind of ran up, to 100 mil. But I do feel like with the restart of the AI meta, this should kind of take off a little bit, give you kind of like a nice 2 to 3 to 4x here, just depending on how much the AI meta picks up. But that range of not, that kind of like that range, anything below 10 mil, kind of range should be pretty ideal to give you a nice 2 to 3x. Okay. The next one we're looking at is Kori. Now, Kori is a very interesting coin. This is kind of like a very viral dog. This is on the Bunk system. I kind of been mentioning Kori for a very long time. We talked about this golden pocket here, had a nice little run here, and it's just kind of been testing this 15 mil range. Okay, what that tells me is that people are still pretty bullish on this coin, because it just keeps bouncing off of this 15 mil range, and we haven't gotten this ideal beautiful entry here. We've only tested it one as that 13 mil range here. I expect to get another little bounce. Okay, I expect it to get another little bounce and then start moving up. So ideal entry we're gonna just revisiting here right here is within that range here, within that kind of like 15 mil to 13 mil range, I think we get a nice little entry here, and then we should see a nice little push on this one. Still potential 2 to 3x on this one. So it just seems to going to be taking a little bit longer. Once again, I think this is kind of like about 20 days to a month out for it to start its reversal. Another one that we're positioning pretty early here is Mother. And I actually mentioned this about, I'm going to say a good, I would say a good 20 to 30 days ago. I kind of was talking a little bit about how this coin's going to revive as we get closer to September, and into the months of October and November. Right now, that 5 mil entry, which is when I first mentioned it, was ideal because right now it's already at a 2x. It just keeps going up. This is going to be a very long cook. Okay, this is kind of like a 2 to 3 month cook, because I think eventually we see it test that 20 mil range here. It's still potentially from where it's at right now, a 10 million coin, 20 million. That's still a 2x. Ideally, this coin goes pretty crazy around that time, which is like, that kind of like October, November, September range. It starts kind of building up and going back up. All time high on this one is actually pretty crazy, which is kind of like all the way up here, guys. So right now it's kind of like dead in the water kind of thing. But we are seeing a lot of people adding. So I started adding here where I kind of mentioned it to you guys, like on that 5 mil range, already up on a 2x. But I think eventually we will see this get it tested pretty soon. So it should give you a nice little 2x. I just don't know how high this coin's gonna go because it's kind of more of a celebrity coin. So it just kind of depends on the celebrity in per se. But I do know the coin. I have a really good feeling the coin's gonna go up as we get closer to the Solana summit. So I think this is gonna do some pretty good numbers. The last coin we're gonna mention is this one, which I mean, when I was gonna start making this video, it was at 30, and it's kind of like at 60. It's already kind of already 2x. So it kind of puts me in a very sad note, because the idea was for you to watch this video by here at the see kind of like this 25 to 30 mil range, and you would already be up at 2x. It's already moving. So this looks like it's heading over to 100 mil range. This is Tokabu, and I think this still runs pretty crazy, and we're gonna see a lot of coins kind of start dumping and people start buying this one pretty soon. So what we're looking here, guys, is you want to see what it happen. I mean, I wouldn't buy right now, but I'm just saying keep an eye on it. Okay. You're gonna see what it does at 80 mil range. I think once it hits 80, we see a retracement. Okay. Ideally, hopefully, I would love to see a retracement to come down here to back to 40. Right now, we don't know. We don't know what the floor is on the top. Okay, it just keeps going up. So ideally, I would like to see a retracement here, kind of come down to 40. Give us a nice scoop as it makes a run to 100. But it can literally just go from where it's at right now all the way to up 100, and then we're like, crap, we missed the entry. But if it does go all the way up to 100, we're looking at those two ranges. We're looking at 80 to 100. We're trying to see how much down it comes down from that 100 range. Ideally, the ideal entry for this one would be 43 if it does go to 80 or 100. So this is something you want to keep an eye on. Maybe set up an alert, or put a buy in it on Bullocks, and you will be able to be like, okay, cool. It's gonna, it's gonna tap 80. It's gonna tap 100. I'm gonna see what it does when it comes down to 40, 43 to 40 here. I'm gonna see what that range does. If it does come down to that part, and that's when you look to add to get a nice potential 2 to 3x. But unfortunately, this started like literally right now as I was making this video, it just started moving. So it's kind of like one of those things that just happened out of nowhere. But you want to just keep an eye on. Hopefully, it did its test of 66, and we get that touchdown back here to that 40 range, and it starts consolidating, and we looked for a run to 100. So that's what we're looking at for this one, per se. So that are the coins for this week, guys. Let me know which one you guys decide to pick up. There are some really good ones that are going to have that nice kind of potential, 5 to 6x. And there's mostly some of them are mostly like a 2x to a 3x with size. So you just want to make sure you play that according. Of course, if you don't want to miss coins that are actually running that give you that 10x, 20x, 30x, make sure you guys follow on the streams every Tuesday and Thursday. But most importantly, join over the stream on Discord where you guys will be able to get some really top-notch information, some crazy alpha. So hopefully you guys are ready to print this week. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.